The opinions expressed
And
on
you're
this program
live.
are those
All
of the
right. Good
host
morning,
and do
everybody.
not express the views of WVBF ownership or Hometown Talk Radio. Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests. It's time for Hometown Talk on AM 1530 and 99.7 FM, your hometown radio station. Our phone lines are now open at 508-822-1106.
Live. Good. Live. And good morning and welcome to Hometown Talk. It is a Friday edition of Hometown Talk. I am Joey Driscoll. Today, again, Friday, the second last day of the month as well. Tomorrow is Saturday. It's the last day of February tomorrow. As we head into the weekend, we're still recovering from the snowstorm we got at the beginning of this week. I drove in today for the first time this week, and roads are, outside of the side roads, the roads are, the main roads are pretty good. My street still needs a little bit of work, but everything else seems to be well taken care of. There is going to be a lot of plow trucks downtown today as they're working on the downtown area today. School sounds like it is off today in Middleborough, so that's something to keep an eye on as well. What happens over the weekend in schools back on Monday. I believe I saw that the town hall is open today. If you have anything to do at the town hall, I would honestly wait until next week due to all the, again, plow trucks apparently will be downtown today working on the roads there. So I would kind of stay away from that area today. But 508-822-1106, 508-822-1106 is the number to call if you want to call in, talk about what's on your mind this morning. Again, it is Friday. We're heading into the weekend today. Into the weekend. And there's some good stuff going on this weekend. And the Red Sox continue their spring training. So there's about a week left until a lot of the Red Sox players that you normally see in spring training will all be going to the World Baseball Classic. So the lineups for the next 2 weeks, between the 5th and the 15th, or somewhere around there, the 15th and 17th, the 5th and the 17th will look a lot different for the Red Sox. A lot of that team is going to the World Baseball Classic to play on various teams, like Venezuela or USA or Great Britain. So there's a lot going on with the Red Sox here when it comes to World Baseball Classic. And those lineups are going to look a lot different. We'll get into that next week with Eric when he comes on. He's coming on next Friday, 10 a.m., the 10 a.m. hour. So stay tuned for that. Also, coming up at 10:35 a.m. this morning will be Alan Frawley. He'll be calling in and we'll talking about the storm a little bit and the recovery there. And we'll definitely get into a lot of what is going on with the school committee. There's a couple of big issues with the school committee going on, and we're going to get into that with Alan today. I'll have an update on during the transportation segment, I'll have an update on the MBTA Communities Act thing that's going on. There is a lawsuit that's looks like has been filed. Some towns have been left off this lawsuit, and towns that were not in compliance past the deadline, but have been left off the lawsuit. I'll tell you about that. And there's also another town, not in our area, but still one of the towns that is named in the lawsuit. But there is a town that is going to be voting on the MBTA Communities Act, what to do with that at a town meeting next week. So we'll talk a little bit about that too. And we'll get into our sports a little bit today as well. Again, transportation, we got some stuff going on with that as well, and your phone calls. It is 9:15 a.m. Let's take our first commercial break right now, reset, and we will be right back here on WVPF 1530 AM, 99.7 FM. We'll be right back.
Fireplaces, and generators release carbon monoxide, a poisonous gas that you can't see, smell, or taste. If snow drifts block exhaust vents outside of your home, carbon monoxide can rise to deadly levels inside. Keep exhaust vents and flues clear of snow, and be sure to have working carbon monoxide alarms on every level of your home. A message from the Taunton Fire Department and your hometown radio station, WBBF.
1 in 10 people age 50 and older in the U.S. have early age-related macular degeneration.
Because macular degeneration often has no early symptoms, many don't know they have it until irreversible vision loss has already occurred.
Sports
When I
thing.
first found out that I
This.
had macular degeneration, it was really scary. I mean, my eyes are my living.
What's most important for me to see my family, my loved ones, my pickleball game, everything I do is dependent upon my vision.
Being able to see, able to spend time with my children, be able to travel is extremely important. And I wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't have my vision. Don't miss life's most beautiful moments.
Schedule a comprehensive eye exam to protect your sight.
Macular Degeneration Research, a Bright Focus Foundation program, offers free resources and tips for healthy vision.
Go to stopamd.org to learn more.
Combat Veteran Motorcycle Association is an association of combat veterans from all branches of the United States Armed Forces who ride motorcycles as a hobby. Our mission is to support those who have defended our country and freedoms. Our focus is to help veteran care facilities provide a warm meal, clothing, shelter, and guidance, or simply to say thank you and welcome home. We have members from nearly all 50 states and living abroad. Many members continue to serve in our armed forces, with several serving in combat areas now. We sponsor and or participate in many motorcycle-related charity events each year, and as a nonprofit organization, donate to various veteran care facilities and veteran charities. To learn more about the Combat Veteran Motorcycle Association and how you can join or support, please visit cvma2-2.org.
All right. And good morning, and we are back. It is 9:19 a.m. here, and there will be in Middleborough. There will be no school today due to hazardous road conditions, ongoing safety concerns. As I mentioned earlier, the town is still digging out from the storm. Also, there was a school committee meeting originally scheduled for Thursday night that has been canceled as well this past Thursday night. So they're still recovering from the snow in Middleborough. So we'll see what happens over the weekend when it comes to school on Monday. And town offices are open today. They close at noon on Fridays. But again, if you can wait until next week, that would probably be a good idea, as the plows are still out there, especially in downtown Middleborough, from what I heard today. We have now a couple of things we want to mention here. The Taunton trash and recycling schedule. This is an update here. Please note additional changes have been made to this week's trash and recycling schedule. So Monday, the trash that was supposed to be picked up on Monday, February 23rd, will now be picked up on Monday, March the 2nd. There is no collection on Tuesday. Tuesday's collection, which was supposed to be February the 24th, will be picked up on Tuesday, March 3rd. Wednesday's collection will occur on Thursday, which already happened, I believe. Thursday's collection will occur Friday. Friday's collection will occur Saturday. Please note the March 2nd collection, Monday, March 2nd, that'll include both A week and B week recycling. That is Monday, February 23rd for the A week and March the 2nd for the B week. Tuesday's recycling, same thing. A week for Tuesday, February 24th, and B week, Tuesday, March 3rd. The city's convenience center is going to reopen. It has reopened this morning at 7 a.m. If you have any questions, please contact the DPW 508-821-1431. So there you go. I wanted to make sure we talked about that. So we have that. A couple of weekend events here. Let's talk about a couple of weekend events here. Coming out of the 9:30 news, we're going to talk about our transportation topic, I believe. We'll do our sports in the second hour. But the weekend events going on. First, Rehoboth. Rehoboth will have a Rehoboth Contra Dance Friday, February 27th. That is tonight, 7:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. The Blanding Public Library, located at 124 Bay State Road. Caller Alyssa Adkins, featuring live music from Nobody's Business. Free lesson at 7:15 p.m. about larks and robins calling. Sighting fees from $10 to $25. Hingham, there'll be a farmer's market coming up, and that is Saturdays 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. through March 28th, and that's weather permitting, I'm assuming, because of the snow and everything. But 204 Union Street, fresh and local items sold, vendors indoors and outdoors. Learn how to save a life at the Lakeville Lions Club. Monthly CPR classes will take place Tuesday, March 3rd, 6:30 p.m. The courses are held at the group's clubhouse. It's on 170 Main Street in Lakeville and include basic life support for professionals and Heart Saver for the general public. The next course is a Heart Saver, which will be on March the 3rd, 6:30 p.m. Registration is required and the course costs $50. The fee can be paid with exact change or a check, which is made out to CPR FD. To register and find future course dates, visit LakevilleMALions.org. And also announced recently, I just opened up my Facebook and saw this post. The excitement is building. The auction for the Rotary Club, their auction website is live. They've been adding items to it almost daily. Bidding opens March 14th. So keep checking back on that website often. Again, March 14th is when that auction will be, the 37th annual online auction for the Rotary Club. Auction is always something that's pretty interesting, and that's something to keep an eye on. The Rotary Club auction in Middleborough. That's coming up in just a couple of weeks. Always something to keep an eye on. I remember a few years ago when when the Rotary auction was at the high school, and I was able to help MACAM and also MET as well with the Rotary auctions in years past. So the Rotary auction is always a fun little event. So again, it's going to be coming up March 14th. So that's pretty cool there. We'll talk about that more once it gets closer. Yeah, so we're going to move on to something else here. Again, we'll have at 9:35, we'll have our transportation segment here. And so that's coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Also coming up is the Raynham Lions County Breakfast. That is going to be the first Saturday of each month. That is next Saturday, March 7th. All money raised will go to the Lions Building and Maintenance Fund in Raynham, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Location is the Raynham. There we go. The Raynham Lions Hall, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. is the time. 2234 King Philip Street, Raynham is the place. There will be eggs, sausage, pancakes, bacon, juice, and coffee available. Cost for this is $10 per person. Children 10 and under, they are admitted free. Pay at the door. For more information, call the Raynham Lions Club, the Raynham Lions Hall, 508-823-7911. There you go. We have that happening as well. Let's take our next commercial break and our news break. When we return, again, we will switch over to our transportation topic as well. So stay tuned for that, and we will be right back here after a couple of commercial breaks and our news. I'm Joey Driscoll. This is WVBF 1530 AM 99.7 FM. All right. Sports, and we'll do that the next hour.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. As war clouds gather on the Mideast horizon,
The U.S. Embassy in Israel has told its staff that it can leave the country and urged anyone considering departure to do so immediately as the threat of an American strike on Iran hangs in the balance. U.S. Ambassador Mike Huckabee told embassy staff in an email that discussions with U.S. State Department officials have led to a decision authorizing voluntary departures for those who wish to leave. The departure authorizations signal a new level of contingency planning as American aircraft and warships mass in the Middle East. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
it follows yesterday's third round of U.S.-Iran nuclear talks.
Negotiators from both countries met for several hours in Geneva, Switzerland, as the U.S. deploys a massive number of aircraft and warships to the Middle East. U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff and Iran's foreign minister were involved in the indirect talks, with the Trump administration trying to convince Iran to halt its enrichment of uranium. The talks were mediated by Oman's foreign minister, who said negotiations will resume soon. Greg Clugston, Washington.
The government's producer price index, it's a measure of prices at the wholesale level before they reach consumers, rose a hotter than expected 0.5% last month. Yesterday it was Hillary. Today it's Bill Clinton's turn to testify before a House panel investigating Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. Hillary Clinton describes her 6-hour session as very repetitive. Pakistan's defense minister says his country is now in open war with Afghanistan. This after the two sides traded attacks and a dramatic escalation of tensions between the neighbors. On Wall Street, ahead of the opening bell, the Dow futures down 514 points. NASDAQ futures off 231. More on these stories, townhall.com.
This is Dennis Prager for AmFed Coin and Bullion. There's something about the feel of a gold coin in your hand and the way the light reflects off its intricate details that has always captivated me. Nick Grovich, AmFed's owner, turned that same passion into his livelihood. Nick began collecting coins as a teen, and that interest grew into a nationally respected business offering only the finest quality coins at the most competitive prices. But the truth is that although Nick is a rare coin dealer, he doesn't believe in rare coins. Rare coins do not make sound investments, but they do make dealers a lot of money. See, that's part of what I respect about him. AmFed specializes in buying non-performing numismatic coins and turning them into gold or silver investments that provide liquidity and perform competitively against the market. Whether you're buying or selling, call 800-221-7694. That's 800-221-7694. AmericanFederal.com.
Hey, restaurants, when it comes to great food and in-house operations, you got it down to a science. But when it comes to online marketing, ordering, and delivery, Devour Now has got you covered. Devour Now has 0% commission, no setup costs, and the delivery solution you've been hoping for. Go to getdevournow.com to request a demo and to get started today. That's getdevournow.com. Commission-free online marketing, ordering, and delivery.
And welcome back. It is 9:35 here just about now. Here we have open phone lines 508-822-1106. We are expecting a phone call from Alan Frawley as well. So stay tuned for that. 508-822-1106 is the phone number. you want to call in, talk about what is on your mind this morning. Anyway, 9:35 a.m. A little bit of some sports here. First off, Red Sox. Red Sox have a game today with the Detroit Lions. Tigers. There we go. Wrong sport. It's not the Lions. That would be a sight to see. It is the Detroit Tigers, and that should be a very interesting matchup. We'll have to see what happens. Again, like I mentioned, the World Baseball Classic starts next week, and the entire Red Sox outfield will be participating in that. So we'll see what happens with the lineup. The lineup is going to look a lot different next week. Is that going to be a good thing for the Red Sox or a bad thing for the Red Sox? We'll just have to see. And we have a phone call. Let's say good morning. Is this Alan?
Hey, Joey, it sure is. How are you today?
I'm doing amazing today. I was finally able to drive in for the first time this week. And the roads, not too bad. The main road's not too bad. My street, little tough, but making some progress there. How about you, Alan?
Not too bad. I live on a pretty main road, but one thing people I think need to understand is that we have over 220 miles of road that needs to be plowed in Middleborough. We just don't have the equipment or the manpower to get it all done in 1 or 2 days. No, you just can't do it. So I think they're doing great. I think they're doing the best they can, and I don't have any complaints.
Yeah, I know this today, there are a lot of those plows are going to be downtown. I saw something online this morning. School is canceled today as well to allow the plows to, continue their work today. Also, Town Hall is open as well today until 12, which is good. But if you're down there, I mentioned if you're down there, if you have something that's not important, I would wait until next week. Let the plows do their job downtown. Go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. If you don't need to be downtown, don't. If you're not comfortable, this is important too. If you're not comfortable driving, don't, unless you absolutely have to. But I think things actually get slowed down a little bit. There's some people who got a little stir crazy, went out driving around, and maybe that wasn't the best idea at the time.
Yeah. So the big reason why we have you on today is the school committee. Now, the school committee has got a couple of big things going on. We'll start with the superintendent of schools. So the superintendent of schools announced that she'll be moving on. She'll be going to another job. And what does that mean for the school committee? Do they start their look at getting a new superintendent of schools?
Yeah, we had a meeting scheduled for last week to kind of jumpstart the school superintendent search. But we got some comments from the public that they didn't think it was a good idea to have it during school vacation. So we're going to reschedule that. Nikki already rescheduled. I just don't have that date off on the top of my head. But we're going to move forward with that as quickly as possible. We're going to talk to Massachusetts Association of School Committees. They're a group that helps do superintendent searches. So we'd like to get that started as soon as possible and see who's out there and who's interested in becoming Middleborough's next school superintendent.
Another big issue going on as well is the budget. I know that there's also a meeting with that scheduled as well. Tell us a little bit about what's going on with that and what the meeting is going to be fleshing out with the budget.
But we have a bit of a shortfall. I think it's about $2.2 million at this point. So we're we're gonna meet with the selectmen and go over that budget on March 9th, I believe. And, basically, we're gonna beg them to, see if there's anything we can do. Doing everything on our end, so we're gonna ask for a little help on their end as well.
Know that I heard some numbers as well with the jobs. What's your concern about that?
I mean, you don't want to lay anybody off. We need everybody. We need more than everybody. We should be hiring, not letting people go. But the numbers are the numbers, and if we can't make them work, then we got to do something. Like I said, I think there are some opportunities to get in front of this, and I'm really hoping that we have the ability to do that, find some funds, and minimize the layoffs as much as possible.
So I know the town meeting is coming up in April. It's coming up. I think it's after the election. I'm not 100% sure when it is. Okay. What are the big school committee issues that you see coming up for the town meeting for people to vote on?
The biggest one is the budget. You know, we got to figure out what the budget's going to be and how we're going to work in that framework. The kids in Middleborough absolutely deserve the best education that we can afford to give them. So we just got to keep that in mind and keep working in that direction. With the new, with the school superintendent search going on in tandem with the search for a new town manager, I think we have a great opportunity to get everybody on the same page and really start pulling in the same direction. There's been some friction between the select board, the town manager, and the school superintendent in the past, and I'd like to see that put behind us. And like I said, I think we got a good opportunity in front of us to all get on the same page and all pull in the same direction. And that's only good for the entire town, you know? We can all work together.
I'll just circle back real quick with the schools and the snow here. We've had several snow days off here here in Middleborough. Will that affect the end of school date, or has when we've been off of school, has there been virtual learning?
No virtual learning so far.
Okay.
And that's because it's been a day-to-day decision on school. So yeah, it kicked the end date back. I don't have that date on me right now, but yeah, we got to take a look at that and see where it goes. Maybe we can make up some days here or there, but we're getting closer and closer to the end of the calendar year.
Yeah, and in June is graduation, of course. I know that there's probably preparation going on for that pretty soon as well. There's a lot that goes into graduation, you know. It's quite amazing graduation. You know, a lot going into that. So yeah, there's not many days left. You got March, April, and May, and for the seniors, it's it's pretty much the beginning of June or late May is when they're done as well. So not many days left. Not many days left at all. One other thing I want to.
The spring will be here before you know it.
yeah, I hope so for sure. I know that we're just about a month away from Red Sox baseball. I was just mentioning when you got on the air here, they got a big couple of weeks. They're on the World Baseball Classic here. The entire outfield will be participating as well. So yeah, spring's coming up. You know, baseball's here, but spring is coming up. You got your minor league teams as well. A lot of Worcester games will be happening at the end of this month, so it's going to be fun. One other thing I want to touch upon here, there's been a little bit of an update on the MBTA Communities Act. Apparently there is a suit that has been filed. A couple of towns that I saw were that had missed the deadline were taken off of the lawsuit, and that would be Carver and Rehoboth. And there was also an update on Holden as well. Holden was another town that didn't reach the deadline. Apparently, they got a town meeting coming up next week. What is your thoughts on the new developments here on the MBTA Communities Act?
It's a bad idea what they're doing, and it's not. Lo and behold, it's not working the way that they thought it was gonna. All the people who championed it, passed it, they're not around anymore. And we're stuck with this bill that's largely a cheerleading thing. We're gonna, increase housing around the T station. It's one of those ideas that looks good on paper, but in reality isn't working well at all. Middleborough should have fought the train station harder when they decided to move it. We didn't. Supposedly we had a lawsuit we won. I'm not sure how well that worked out for us. We still have those apartment buildings going up. I don't know if it's appropriate for downtown. I don't think so. But we didn't have any real conversations about it because we weren't invited to that discussion. And that's really the crux of the problem with the train station, with the MBTA Communities Act. The communities weren't invited to the conversation. This was something that was shoved down our throats.
Yeah, so we'll have more updates, I'm sure, throughout the spring on this, because this is just beginning now. This lawsuit, I guess, that's been filed. Again, Carver and Rehoboth were left off of this, which obviously I was assuming that was probably going to happen. I was really scratching my head as to why Carver was added with this, but nonetheless, got about 2 minutes here before we let you go. I know that it was originally scheduled for 10:35 a.m., but we wanted to push it back an hour, and that's fine as well. So we'll 2 more minutes here. One other question I want to ask you here, another sports question. Now that the Patriots season's over, what is some of the things you want to see in the offseason when it comes to the Patriots and who we should add? I mean, there's been some names out there, A.J. Brown being one of them. But what are your thoughts?
I think we're going to plug some of those holes in the offensive line. Drake May's 24, but that doesn't mean he can get hit 7 times in a game.
No, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
If we can protect our quarterback a little bit better, I think we've got a good opportunity.
Yeah, I've heard some names on the offensive line side of things where we could target. There's some names that are unfortunately going to end up being cap casualties. We've already seen it with the running backs. You're probably going to see it with Stephon Diggs, and that's it's unfortunate, but you save a lot of money cutting him. And $20 million. We save a lot cutting him. So it's going to be an unfortunate thing, but I think we are going to cut him. And going out and getting someone like A.J. Brown, I think that would be great for the Patriots. But Alan, I want to thank you for calling in today, and we'll have you on again probably around town meeting time.
All right, sounds great, Joey. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's Alan Frawley giving us a call. A couple minutes here talking about some of the big school committee issues going on. New superintendent, they're searching for that now. They're going to be searching for that pretty soon. The budget issues as well. That's going to be a big topic, at least when it comes to the school committee, for the April town meeting. And the April election is coming up as well. It's coming up in April. So April's a big month in Middleborough. So stay tuned. We'll have a lot more news on all of that. We got into a little bit of some sports today with Alan. Asked him about what he thinks the Patriots should do. I agree with him. Offensive line is probably the biggest need Patriots are going to need. I obviously mentioned AJ Brown. I think they should target him, get him on this team. We'll see what happens there. But 9:50 a.m. Let's take our last commercial break of the hour. When we come back, we'll switch back over to our transportation. We'll switch over to our sports, and then we'll do our transportation topic in the next hour. Open phone lines the rest of the show. 508-822-1106. 508-822-1106 is the number to call if you want to call in and talk about what's on your mind. We'll have an update on the. I haven't done this in a couple of weeks. I like to do this every couple of weeks. I'll give a little bit of a business update as to what's going on with the markets as the markets open up at 9:30. They've opened up now. So we'll give a little bit of an update. That's coming up after the 10 o'clock news. But your phone calls as well, 508-822-1106. And we'll talk about the Herring Run Festival as well. That's coming back for another year. And during our sports, we'll talk about a local event going on as well. So we'll be right back. Okay, sounds good. All right, we're going to hit 242. Morning, everybody.
Matthew Mission Food Pantry helps people with food insecurities from the hardships of life.
36.
In a few short years, they have given more than 4,000 bags of groceries to those in need at the north door of the First Parish Church, 76 Church Green, and are available to anyone, no questions asked. The demand increases every week. Please consider a donation of unexpired, non-perishable food items, grocery store gift cards, or a monetary donation via check to the Matthew Mission Food Pantry, 76 Church Green, Taunton, or by Venmo at Matthew Mission Food Pantry. The Matthew Mission Inc. is a registered 501c3 organization. Thank you.
The Matthew Mission Food Pantry is now open the second and fourth Saturdays of the month at 76 Church Green in Taunton.
Don't miss InfoTrack weekends here on WVBF. InfoTrack is a weekly nationally syndicated public affairs radio show that features interviews with experts discussing topics of real interest to you. InfoTrack strives to present impartial, balanced coverage of every story. I'm your host, Chris Whitting, along with a team of talented reporters and legendary announcer, Charlie Van Dyke. InfoTrack, Saturday mornings at 8:05 a.m. and Sundays at 9 a.m. Here on WVBF AM 1530 and 99.7 FM, your hometown radio station.
Okay. And good morning. We are back. 9:54 a.m. here. And we have our sports now. We are going to start with some local stuff here to talk about today. Winter sports here are in the playoffs after a little bit of a delay due to this, of course, the snowstorm. Kind of getting back on track with the playoffs for the winter sports. But first, the Battle of the Badges is going to be taking place on March the 6th. That is next Friday. Community event, fun for all ages. The Middleborough High School gym. It is Middleborough Police versus the Middleborough Fire Department. And that's coming up. Email Middleborough Class of 2027 at gmail.com for any questions. Tickets are sold at the door. It's $5 general admission, $20 VIP seating, which is limited as well. So there you go. You got that going on. Also, there is an update on the Middleborough hockey team. The game will begin. Their playoffs will begin Saturday, February 28th at 8:20 p.m. at the Bridgewater Rink. Tickets are $8 for adults, $5 for students. The student section theme is whiteout. Again, it is Middleborough versus Taunton here in the round of 32. It has been identified as the game to watch by Hockey Insiders. And you do not want to miss that if you're in Middleborough and are able to get down there for the game. Middleborough 15th ranked, number 15 ranked in the state or in the tournament, and 18th ranked Taunton ranked in the tournament there. It's coming up 8:20 p.m. on Saturday. So that's going to be a big game for Middleborough hockey there. So that is your local sports update. We got some pretty big news in the wrestling world here locally. NXT, which is the third brand of the WWE there, is coming to Plymouth April 11th, Saturday, 7:30 p.m. start. That will be at the Plymouth Memorial Hall, which is a great venue, a very good venue for those type of events. But NXT Live from Plymouth, Mass, coming up Saturday, April 11th, 7:30 p.m. That's part of their, that week where they're in the East Coast. April 9th, they're in Utica, New York. April 10th, they're in White Plains, New York. So there you go. That week, they're kind of in the East Coast. They're on the road. They don't get on the road, that often. Their home base is in Florida. They don't get, around the country all that often at all. They just seem to be now starting to really do that more than they used to in the past. It used to be live events would happen in around the Orlando area, and that would kind of be it, or around Florida, but that would be it. You really would rarely see anything outside of that, but now it seems like they are expanding the NXT Live kind of footprint there, so that's good. They got a big event as well in April, which is called Stand and Deliver. That's their big WrestleMania type event for the NXT roster. But I don't know if it's not going to happen during WrestleMania week this week. I don't think. There's been some changes there. There's been some changes to WrestleMania itself, I've heard as well. The time that it starts, I heard 2:30 p.m. I don't know how accurate that is, but I guess we'll see in a couple of weeks when the build to that really starts. But yeah, I mean, we got one more pay-per-view, I believe, coming out here in a couple of weeks. I believe, or not even a couple of weeks, this week, I think. And then you have the the big one, the big pay-per-view for WWE, which is WrestleMania 42 in Vegas once again, as it was last year. So a little bit of an update there on wrestling. I don't talk about wrestling too much, but that was a pretty interesting thing that I wanted to mention because NXT coming to Plymouth is pretty cool. All right, so we'll finish up the sports here in the second hour. We'll do our transportation topic. We'll do a stock market update as well. It is 10 o'clock. We are going to take our news break, and we will be right back.
We are AM 1530, WBF, Middleborough, Taunton, and W259 DD, Middleborough Center, 99.7 FM, your hometown radio station.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. As war clouds gather on the Mideast horizon,
the U.S. Embassy in Israel has told its staff that it can leave the country and urged anyone considering departure to do so immediately as the threat of an American strike on Iran hangs in the balance. U.S. Ambassador Mike Huckabee told embassy staff in an email that discussions with U.S. State Department officials have led to a decision authorizing voluntary departures for those who wish to leave. The departure authorizations signal a new level of contingency planning as American aircraft and warships mass in the Middle East. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
It follows yesterday's third round of U.S.-Iran nuclear talks.
Negotiators from both countries met for several hours in Geneva, Switzerland, as the U.S. deploys a massive number of aircraft and warships to the Middle East. U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff and Iran's foreign minister were involved in the indirect talks, with the Trump administration trying to convince Iran to halt its enrichment of uranium. The talks were mediated by Oman's foreign minister, who said negotiations will resume soon. Ray Clugston, Washington.
The government's producer price index, it's a measure of prices at the wholesale level before they reach consumers, rose a hotter than expected 0.5% last month. Yesterday it was Hillary. Today it's Bill Clinton's turn to testify before a House panel investigating Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. Hillary Clinton describes her 6-hour session as very repetitive. Pakistan's defense minister says his country is now in open war with Afghanistan. This after the two sides traded attacks and a dramatic escalation of tensions between the neighbors. On Wall Street, ahead of the opening bell, the Dow futures down 514 points. NASDAQ futures off 231. More on these stories, townhall.com.
This is Dennis Prager for AmFed Coin and Bullion. There's something about the feel of a gold coin in your hand and the way the light reflects off its intricate details that has always captivated me. Nick Grovich, AmFed's owner, turned that same passion into his livelihood. Nick began collecting coins as a teen, and that interest grew into a nationally respected business offering only the finest quality coins at the most competitive prices. But the truth is that although Nick is a rare coin dealer, he doesn't believe in rare coins. Rare coins do not make sound investments, but they do make dealers a lot of money. See, that's part of what I respect about him. AmFed specializes in buying non-performing numismatic coins and turning them into gold or silver investments that provide liquidity and perform competitively against the market. Whether you're buying or selling, call 800-221-7694. That's 800-221-7694. AmericanFederal.com.
Britain's Green Party has won a special election.
The Greens' Hannah Spencer was declared winner of the contest in Gorton and Denton early Friday with 14,980 votes. Matthew Goodwin of the Hard Right Reform UK Party received 10,000, while Labour just hit 9,000. The constituency in northwest England was solid Labour territory for decades, and the result demonstrates that Britain's political landscape is increasingly fragmenting. The victory at Gorton and Denton is a big boost for the small Green Party and a blow to Prime Minister Keir Starmer, whose centre-left Labour Party was relegated to third place. I'm Charles Dillard.
President Macron is updating France's nuclear deterrence doctrine as Europe frets over Russia. Macron will speak Monday at a French submarine base and signal how France now thinks about the use of nuclear weapons. News and analysis, townhall.com. A package delivery giant says that if it gets a refund, its customers may get one as well.
FedEx says it will pass along tariff refunds to shippers and consumers. FedEx filed a lawsuit in the Court of International Trade to get a refund on what it paid for tariffs set by President Trump. Last week, the Supreme Court ruled those tariffs are illegal. After the ruling, the president said there was no mention of what happens next.
Wouldn't you think they would have put one sentence in there saying that keep the money or don't keep the money, right? I guess it has to get litigated for the next 2 years.
More than 1,000 companies have filed suit to recoup costs from tariffs. I'm Ed Donahue.
Not too long after he visited China, today finds Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney in India. This is part of his drive to lessen his country's economic reliance on the United States. On the agenda for the talks, trade, investment, energy, crucial minerals, and technology. More on these stories, townhall.com.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and do not express the views of WVBF ownership or Hometown Talk Radio. Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests.
Right. Good stuff. Let's figure this out. All right. All right, we're back to our sports here, and we're going to do our transportation topic here as well, probably in the second half of this hour. We'll also have a business, it's more of a stock market update. I might do a business update as well. They're kind of the same thing, but we're definitely got a stock market update for you as what the stock market is doing here as it gets the final day of the week, final day of the month for the stock market gets underway. So we'll have that update in a little bit. But a couple of news stories here for our sports. There will be a meeting coming up in March with Trump and college leaders. We'll be tackling some issues at a roundtable. The Power 4 conference commissioners are expected to join dozens of sports celebrities and dignitaries on March the 6th at the White House in a roundtable discussion with President Donald Trump about the future of college athletics. Multiple sources confirmed to ESPN. President Trump will chair the group, and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and New York Yankees President Randy Levine are listed as vice chairs, according to a source who provided a list of 35 people who have received invitations. The list also includes Tiger Woods, Nick Saban, Mac Brown, and Urban Meyer. All three are college football coaches, former college football coaches. The former Secretary of State and College Football Playoff Selection Committee member Condoleezza Rice, New England Patriots President Jonathan Kraft, the NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, Fox Sports President Eric Shanks, the Chairman of ESPN Jimmy Petrillo, several athletic directors, including Notre Dame's athletic director as well. Former college athletes. This includes Tim Tebow and Charlie Ward. Also in the list is current university presidents and chancellors. No active head coaches were included in this group. So no Bill Belichick or anything like that. There you go. It's unknown whether everyone invited will attend the event, which is called the College Sports Roundtable. Multiple sources planning to attend expressed skepticism about how much could be done on a Friday afternoon with so many people involved from different backgrounds. Also expected to attend is billionaire businessman Cody Campbell, who is chairman of Texas Tech's Board of Regents and a former college football player who's been working on a Saving College Sports campaign and involved in discussions about a possible roundtable for more than a year. So there you go. That's a pretty interesting story there. There's going to be a very interesting roundtable on March the 6th there. So that'll be interesting to kind of keep an eye on if you're a sports fan, and also keep an eye on politics as well. That's something to kind of keep a close eye on there. I want to talk about this. The Red Sox had a game against the Pirates recently, and there was one player on the Pirates that really impressed me. Connor Griffin. Connor Griffin is an MLB prospect. He's the number 1 MLB prospect. So Pirates are getting a good player here. And he showed it again against the Red Sox. He hit 2 home runs against the Red Sox in a spring training game recently. And he has been very, very good here as that Pirates prospect. Pirates, they seem to have a pretty good farm system. That's also been, the talk with the Red Sox as well, that we have a pretty good farm system. We've done also a very, very good job keeping that farm system, even though we've made some deals over the past, couple of years where some of those players have been gone. But we've done a good job keeping a pretty good farm system around for the Red Sox. Just kind of waiting on that to kind of translate into some big results for the Red Sox. A lot of their minor league teams kind of had a mediocre year, and the lower rungs really didn't fare too well, especially the Salem Red Sox, who are now the Salem Ridgeacs. But yeah, we'll see what happens with the minor leagues this year. It'll be interesting to watch. You'll see a lot of these players from the minor leagues coming up in the next couple of weeks, with a lot of the major league players going to the World Baseball Classic. So you'll get a lot of looks at some of these players, probably lower down on the spring training of the minor league level as well. You'll probably get a good look at a lot of these players over the next couple of weeks once the World Baseball Classic gets underway. All right, quick updates on the Red Sox. Oh, not the Red Sox. I already did that. The Celtics. Celtics, I believe they have a game tonight. Yes, they do. It's against the Nets. The Celtics have done a very, very good job this year. They've kind of their expectations this year were they were going to have more of a down year. They were still expected to make the playoffs, of course, but I don't think people expected them to be a 38-20 team without Jaylen Brown. So that is very good. Apparently, there's rumors Jaylen Brown will make his return pretty soon. So we'll see what happens once Jaylen Brown comes back and the Red Sox are, the Celtics are at full strength. So we'll see what happens there. They're expected. They are huge favorites today tonight against the Nets. The Nets are a very bad team, 15-43. So we'll see if the Celtics can get that done today with that game there. Good game coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. The Cavaliers, they take on the Pistons. 2 great teams. So that should be a very good matchup at 7 p.m. tonight on ESPN. It's a doubleheader. It's part of a doubleheader on ESPN, and they got some really good games today on ESPN. The second game of the doubleheader is the Nuggets versus the Thunder, two really good teams as well. The Thunder being, I believe, the best team in the league. So, in the West, in the East, it's the Pistons. That would be a good NBA final. If I'm being honest, the Pistons versus the Thunder, I think would be a very good NBA final. Again, a lot of people were predicting that the Thunder were going to be around for quite a while, and seems like people are correct on that thinking. But again, the Celtics and the Nets, that will be tonight at 7:30 p.m. Celtics are expected to win that one. The Nets, again, very bad recently. The Bruins won their return last night, 4-2 against the Blue Jays. Their next Blue Jays, the Blue Jackets. Why do I keep saying baseball teams? The Blue Jackets. There we go. Their next game is against Philly, the Philadelphia Flyers, and that game is at 3 p.m. on Saturday on ABC. It's a matinee game there in Philly. So that should be a very interesting game. That'll end the month of February for the Bruins as we are approaching March. We're approaching the playoffs. And the Bruins are doing very, very well for themselves as well. I think they'll get into the playoffs. How far they go, that's still to be determined. One other thing I do want to kind of mention, talk about here, is the next UConn games. I've been keeping a close eye on UConn on men's and the women's side. I mentioned I find that they are favorites on the women's side to win the whole thing, the national championship. So we'll see what happens there. But on the men's side, UConn takes on Seton Hall, and that will be at noon on Saturday, tomorrow. So that should be a good game. I was on FS1. And on the women's side here, get those up there. Another huge win yesterday. That's, to be expected. That's kind of been the story all year for UConn. I think they've only had 1 or 2 games this year where they've only won by less than 10 points. All the other games, it's been more than 20. So UConn's been very impressive this year. They beat Georgetown 84-52. It's a 32-point victory. It's kind of the norm for UConn this year. They're undefeated. They're number 1 in the nation. They take on St. John's, and that will be at 7:30 p.m. on Sunday. On TNT, and that's going to be a big game that will determine if they go to 31-0. I believe that's their last game of the year as well. That will determine if they have the undefeated season that people have been talking about there. So we'll see what happens there. That is your sports. We are going to take our commercial break. When we come back, we'll have first, we'll have our sports, our sports. We'll have our business minute, and then we'll have a stock market update as well. And we'll give that to you when we come back from this commercial break. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Paul Lads inviting you to join me Thursday mornings, 9 to 11, here on WVBF AM and FM for Cranberry Country Journal. Still bringing you a slice of life of the people, places, and activities and events that make the Cranberry Country area a special place to call home. Join me Thursday mornings, 9 to 11, Cranberry Country Journal on WVBF.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. A federal judge said Thursday that the Internal Revenue Service broke the law by disclosing confidential taxpayer information over 42,000 times to Immigration and Customs Enforcement. U.S. District Judge Colleen Kolar-Catelli found that the Internal Revenue Service had erroneously shared taxpayer information of thousands of people with the Department of Homeland Security. Walmart has agreed to pay $100 billion to settle allegations from the U.S. Federal Trade Commission that the retailer caused its delivery drivers to lose tens of millions of dollars worth of earnings by deceiving them about their pay and tips. Nurses returned to work Thursday at a big New York City hospital system nearly a week after they approved a new contract that ended a major nursing strike. More than 4,000 nurses in the privately run New York Presbyterian system went on strike January 12th. The walkout was part of a dispute that also saw nurses strike at two other big private hospital systems in the city. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Hi, this is Paul.
One more commercial.
At some health systems, cancer care can make you feel like a number. At South Coast Health Cancer Care, you're more than a diagnosis.
I already did that.
We offer the most advanced treatments and the latest surgical advancements, led by a connected team of experts who not only see your cancer, but all of you. Because healing isn't just medicine, it's compassion, it's connection, it's care that knows your story and walks along with you. We are South Coast Health Cancer Care. Visit southcoast.org/cancercare.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Perfect. And we are back. As I turn down the bumper music, it is 10:22 a.m. here. 10:22 a.m. Open phone lines 508-822-1106. 508-822-1106 is the number to call. We are now going to take a look at what is happening with the stock market. Not good numbers here to start off. The Dow Jones is down 644 points right now to 48,843 right now. NASDAQ is also down quite a lot in the red to 22,682. That's 195 points in the red. And the S&P 500 also squarely in the red as well, 51 points to 6,857. So there you go. A lot of huge issues there, and that's mostly due to an inflation report, a negative inflation report, and then also tech struggles as well. The tech sector having some struggles there today. So that's your stock market update as well. 10:23 a.m. Let's take a look at our blood drives. Let's take a look at our blood drives here. Our blood drives are as follows for today, for tomorrow, and through March. Saturday, tomorrow, February 28th, the Triton Masonic Lodge, 38 Franklin Street, East Bridgewater, 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. for that blood drive. In March, we have several blood drives. Monday, March 9th, Carver Middle High School, 60 South Meadow Road in Carver, 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. for that blood drive. Then Wednesday, March the 18th at the Rosebrook Event Center, 50 Rosebrook Place, number 1, Wareham, Massachusetts, 1 p.m. to 5:45 p.m. for that blood drive. Saturday, the 21st of March, the VFW Post, 6643 at 89 Middleborough Road in Freetown. That's 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. for that blood drive. Sunday, March 22nd at the Church of Our Savior, 60 Union Street, Middleborough, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Sunday, the 29th of March, the following Sunday, the 29th of March, Mayflower Lodge AF and AM. That is 46 South Main Street in Middleborough, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. for that blood drive. And if you're unable to make any of those blood drives, there's always the blood donation centers in Kingston and in Raynham. And you can sign up for any of those blood drives that I just mentioned on the redcross.org blood section there, the website there. So, all right, 10:25 a.m. We're going to do our transportation topic in the next half hour. And also, we're going to probably do a music segment as well in the next half hour. I have some thoughts about the 2026 nominees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And very questionable. That's all I'll say. If you're planning on inducting Mariah Carey this year or next year, just rename it to the Music Hall of Fame. It's no longer the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Just rename it to the Music Hall of Fame. If you're going to induct people like Mariah Carey or Wu-Tang Clan, just don't call it the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame anymore. That's my opinion. And there are names in there as well that I am shocked aren't in. That should have been in like 20 years ago as well. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it here in the next half hour. But we have a couple of things here I want to mention here before we take our 10:30 news break. The March Free Waste Drop-Off Day. Drop off your trash for free. That is coming up on Saturday, March 21st, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. The City of Taunton Convenience Center, located at 330 East Britannia Street. Proof of residency is required for this. No commercial waste, no box trucks. And if you have any questions, you can call the DPW 508-821-1431 for that. There. And then, I mentioned this earlier, the Middleborough Tourism Committee has announced that the 2026 annual Herring Run Festival that will run from Saturday, April 11th and Sunday, April 12th, noon to 4 daily, noon to 4 each day. The Oliver Mill Park, Route 44, the Mascot Street, Middleborough. That is an amazing area there. The Oliver Mill Park is a beautiful park there with the water and all that. And herring, that will be there. Hopefully will be there as well. So that will be a really fun event. It's always a fun event. I got a chance to film it one year for MACamp. Again, really great event with a lot of great vendors, a lot of great people talking about different things there, a lot of great music as well, a lot of great exhibitions that they do there too. So the Herring Run Festival is always a fun event. The event, I just mentioned here, the event is going to be featuring herring-inspired arts and crafts. There will be educational exhibits. There will be guided nature walks. There will be an interactive display as well. The festival also typically includes live music, food vendors, and a lot of fun for the family. A lot of great information gets talked about too at these events too. A lot of great local businesses are involved as well. So the Herring Run Festival is always a fun event every single year. All right, that's going to happen again April 11th and April the 12th. All right, 10:29 a.m. When we come back from our news break, we will have our transportation topic. And we are also going to have a music segment as well. And I have some thoughts. And I'm not too happy with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So are most people they're not happy with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with this list that came out this year. That came out recently here for next year's possible nominees there, possible inductees. So let's take a break, take our news break. When we come back, we'll have the transportation segment and we'll have our music segment as well. And your phone calls, 508-822-1106. We'll be right back.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. As the U.S. military buildup goes on in the Middle East, foreshadowing a possible attack on Iran, American embassy personnel in Israel are being told that if they want to leave the country, they should do so now. Ambassador Mike Huckabee has fired off a memo to that effect. Follows yesterday's third round of indirect U.S.-Iran nuclear talks, and so far, no deal over Iran's nuclear program. Former President Clinton testifying today in the congressional Jeffrey Epstein investigation. Yesterday, Hillary Clinton answered the committee's questions.
It was disappointing that they refused to hold a public hearing, so I wouldn't have to be out here characterizing it for you. You could have seen it for yourself. We had asked for that. We think it would have been better for the committee and its efforts to gather whatever information they are seeking.
Telling lawmakers she has no information on Epstein's crimes and doesn't recall ever meeting him. Artificial intelligence pioneer Anthropic says it cannot grant the Pentagon unrestricted use of its technology.
The Pentagon had given Anthropic an ultimatum to end restrictions on the use of its technology or face losing its Defense Department contracts. It's also threatened to use emergency powers to force the company to comply. But the Anthropic CEO, Dario Amodei, said he could not, in good conscience, agree to the request. He said AI-driven mass surveillance was a serious risk to fundamental liberties, and he warned that the technology was not yet reliable enough to power fully autonomous weapons, where targeting decisions could be taken without human involvement.
The BBC's James Reed. A sell-off this morning on Wall Street. The Dow down 800 points, loss of more than 1.5%. The NASDAQ 253 points in the red. More on these stories, townhall.com.
This month, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
European authorities have opened a new investigation into the business dealings of a disgraced former ambassador.
The European Commission has asked its anti-fraud watchdog, OLAF, to examine Peter Mandelson's links to Jeffrey Epstein during a period when he was the EU's trade chief. A Commission official confirmed the probe on Thursday after many documents became public. The watchdog agency has a track record of probing fraud and misconduct across EU institutions, but it does not confirm an investigation. Mandelson faces scrutiny in Britain over alleged misconduct in public office tied to Epstein. His past relationship with Epstein also creates political trouble for Prime Minister Keir Starmer. I'm Charles Lesman.
China's legislature has removed 19 lawmakers, including 9 military officers, as President Xi Jinping's anti-corruption drive shows no sign of letting up. News and analysis, townhall.com. New findings regarding organ donations.
The vast majority of organ donations once came from people who were brain dead, but last year about half of the deceased organ donations came from people who died when their hearts stopped beating instead. Researchers at NYU found wide geographic variation in what's called donation after circulatory death, suggesting it could be possible to further boost life-saving transplants. The findings reported Thursday in JAMA come as the government is developing additional safeguards for this type of donation after some rare reports of potential donors who showed signs of life shook public trust. Keith Peters, Washington.
Netflix is declining to raise its offer to buy Warner Brothers Discovery's studio and its streaming business. It is a surprise move that effectively puts Paramount in a position to take over its storied Hollywood rival. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Okay, we are back. And it is 10:36 a.m. here. I am Joey Driscoll. Open phone lines today, 508-822-1106. Now, we're going to do a music recommendation. Well, not a music recommendation segment. It's more of a music segment. And we're going to talk about the 2026 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So last year's list, the list that ended up getting in, wasn't bad. It really wasn't. You know, there were some questions there. There were some questionable things there. It wasn't that bad. I hope this list. I hope some of these people on this list don't get hit. I really don't. This nominees list isn't that good. Outside of some names, and I'll mention some of these names. But the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame never ceases to amaze me. For years now, they have inducted people who do not belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They just don't. And it's getting to a point where some of these people on this list, if they get in, just stop calling it the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Just rename it to the Music Hall of Fame and call it a day. Well, let's get to that list now. The 2026 nominees. Billy Idol. How Billy Idol hasn't been inducted yet? I don't get it. I don't get it. How he hasn't been inducted yet is crazy to me. In Excess, I don't know too much about this band. Apparently, they are from Australia. That's kind of all I know about In Excess. They are a rock band, so that makes sense. Iron Maiden. Yeah, should have been inducted in like 2000. In 2001, they are way overdue when it comes to being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Way overdue. Iron Maiden definitely should be inducted this year. If they're not, then yeah, just scrap the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame altogether if you don't induct Iron Maiden this year. Jeff Buckley. I like this one. Jeff Buckley, his version of Hallelujah, which is a cover of a Leonard Cohen song, is in the Library of Congress, National Recording Registry. So yeah, I would definitely induct him. I would definitely induct him. Joy Division / New Order. Now I don't know too much about Joy Division and New Order / New Order, so I think this is a good pick if they end up getting picked. I don't know. I don't know too much about them. Lauryn Hill. I don't know. I don't know about her at all. Honestly. Luther Vandross, that would be a good pick, in my opinion. That would be a good pick. If you're going to pick someone, pick Luther Vandross to be in this list as well. I think that would be a good list. I think that would be a good pick for the list. Luther Vandross would be great. Mariah Carey, no. If Mariah Carey somehow gets in, again, that would be probably the worst pick that they've ever picked for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame if Mariah Carey gets in. Now, nothing against Mariah Carey. I like Mariah Carey. But she is not a rock and roll artist. She is a pop artist. You are the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Do not induct Mariah Carey into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Please. Melissa Etheridge. I don't know too much about Melissa Etheridge, so I'm going to move on. New Edition. Again, I don't know too much about New Edition, so I'm going to move on here. I'm not going to give any opinion on that. Oasis. I think they should get in eventually. I think it's too early for Oasis. I think it's too early for them. And that's kind of what my opinion I had when Pearl Jam got inducted. Now, I like Pearl Jam, but I think it was too early for them to get inducted. That's kind of the same opinion I have with Oasis. I like Pearl Jam more than I like Oasis, but it's the same opinion I have with Oasis that I had with Pearl Jam. It's too early. It's too early. I don't think they should be in. Maybe 4 or 5 years down the road, maybe. Not now. Pink. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't know where they get these lists. I don't know where they get this from. I really don't. But Pink, no. I mean, has she dabbled in the rock and roll world? I think a little bit, but she's mostly a pop artist. So this wouldn't make much sense. It really wouldn't. Phil Collins should have been inducted like 15, 20 years ago. Why they've waited so long to induct people like Iron Maiden, Billy Idol, and Phil Collins is really head-scratching to me. Really, really head-scratching. Sade, I like Sade. I believe she was the artist who did the song Smooth Operator. I like that song. I don't think she should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, though. I don't think she's a rock artist from what I've heard from her music. Shakira, absolutely not. Again, this is another one. She's not a rock artist. I don't get it with some of these names. The Black Crowes, I like it. Is it a little bit too early for them? Maybe. But I like it. And finally, the Wu-Tang Clan, no. No, the Wu-Tang Clan is not a rock and roll band. They are rap and hip hop. No. You did this with several other hip hop artists and rap artists in the past. again, it's not rock and roll. So the Wu-Tang Clan would be a terrible choice for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So there's your list. 50-50 with the list there. Some good names there, some bad names. What are your thoughts? 508-822-1106. 508-822-1106 is the number to call in. All right, I'm going to do quick little story on the Middleborough Cooler Middleborough Fair. And it's the 4th annual fair. And it's always a great event. So let's talk about that now. It's a free, fun, and educational fair for the whole family about environment and clean energy. It's going to take place on March 21st, 11 a.m. start. It's going to be going until 2 p.m. The Middleborough High School is where it will be. Attendees can learn about saving money with weatherization techniques, see a life-sized humpback whale, and enjoy fun activities. Information on cost-saving methods, including heat pumps, solar panels, electric vehicles, induction cooking, and climate-resilient landscaping will also be shared with the attendees as well. In addition, free family-friendly games and arts and crafts activities available. All of this at no cost. The event is sponsored by Sustainable Middleborough and New England Coastal Wildlife Alliance and the Middleborough Public Schools. Again, that's coming up March the 21st at 11 a.m. So we have that going on as well. All right, 10:46 a.m. Let's take our last commercial break. When we come back, we'll have some transportation topics to talk about, and your phone calls, 508-822-1106. What is your thoughts on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Again, they never cease to amaze me with these lists sometimes. Last year, the picks were fine. Some of the picks, questionable, but a lot of them were good. And then there's some years where I'm just scratching my head. Like, why were some of these people picked? This year, I hope I'm not saying that. I hope I'm saying that this was a good list of people who were inducted, but knowing the track record for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it's very questionable. But what are your thoughts? 508-822-1106. Let's take our last commercial break. We'll be right back. All right, 110.
Hey, restaurants. When it comes to great food and in-house operations, you got it down to a science.
10:48.
But when it comes to online marketing, ordering, and delivery, Devour Now has got you covered. Devour Now has 0% commission, no setup costs,
66.
and the delivery solution you've been hoping for. Go to getdevournow.com to request a demo and to get started today. That's getdevournow.com. Commission-free online marketing, ordering, and delivery.
If you are 75 years or older and suffer from food insecurity, the St. Vincent de Paul Food Pantry is here to help. We serve the families of Middleborough, Lakeville, Harvard, and Rochester. Please leave a message on our pantry hotline at 508-947-1717. A volunteer will call back to gather some needed information. Obtain your desired list of groceries. These will be collected for you and delivered to your home free of charge. May the good Lord bless you and keep you safe.
10:40.
Hi, I'm Chris Keesh of the Morning Wake Up News here at WVBF. My good friend Joey Driscoll has an amazing program all about Middleborough Sunday mornings from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. It's called Middleborough in Review. He talks about sports. He talks about local events in Middleborough.
Yeah,
and anything of interest in
today,
Middleborough
40.
and beyond. So Join them, Middleborough in Review with Joey Driscoll, Sunday morning, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. only here at AM 1530 WVBF and at 99.7 FM.
All right. And welcome back to Hometown Talk, the Friday edition of Hometown Talk. I am Joey Driscoll. Boy, that last segment was fun. I always like to get a chance to talk about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and kind of vent my frustration a little bit with that, because they are frustrating a little bit, for sure. A lot of decisions, some decisions they make, great. Some decisions they make, though, very head scratching. You're sitting there thinking, "What are you doing?" Kind of thing with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Like some people on this list this year are just wow. Shakira, Mariah Carey, Pink. Why? Why? I mean that's very questionable. Some of those names. And some of the names on there, I'm very honest. I was very honest with you. I don't know too much about. I really don't. I've heard of Sade before, of course. I mentioned that. Again, you had the names on there that have been on there many, many times and haven't been picked for some reason. Iron Maiden, Phil Collins. Iron Maiden and Phil Collins alone. Those two have been. Those two acts have been definitely been waiting way too long. Billy Idol too as well. Waiting way too long to get to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Those, if you just had those three names, and then maybe included, the Black Crowes in there, that list would be fantastic. I would have no issues with that list. Zero issues at all. And also Jeff Buckley, if you had a Jeff Buckley in there as well, because I think definitely you should get in. Absolutely, 100%. If you have a song, even though it's not his song, it's a cover of another artist, but it's a really great cover. I've heard it many, many times. His version of Hallelujah. If you have somebody like that, get him into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Absolutely. If you have just those five names, Iron Maiden, Phil Collins, Iron Maiden, Phil Collins. Go here. Let me start over. Iron Maiden, Phil Collins, Billy Idol, and Black Crowes, and Jeff Buckley. If you just had those five names, would be an amazing list. An absolutely amazing list. I would have zero issues with it. And really, but that's not going to be the list. That's just me dreaming. That's definitely not going to be the list, unfortunately. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Anyway, moving on from that, we have the transportation topic. The MBTA has announced that work to modernize the Red Line that will begin this weekend. Officials say 4 phases of temporary evening service changes will continue through the month of April. Crews will work on the signals to improve reliability. Work will be done near JFK UMass stop due to a 2019 crash. Repair work done at the time had kept signal operations limited. For the first phase, that begins tomorrow. The MBTA officials say work will continue for roughly 2 weeks, and commuters on the Braintree branch and trains, they'll experience longer travel times because the trains will run fast. The MBTA officials also say work will be done on the red and orange lines as well. And and should be finished before the FIFA World Cup this summer. Now, speaking of the FIFA World Cup, there was some news about that, and that is that they are going to be starting test trains next month in March for the World Cup. They're trying to test out some runs here on how they're going to get those trains to be reliable during the World Cup here in Massachusetts. They'll have some games at Gillette Stadium, so that'll be a big deal. So they are doing an early run as to try to work out the kinks a little bit on how that's going to run come June. So we'll see what happens there. Another big news story that came out this week in the transportation world, and that is the MBTA has teamed up with Maryland, and this is to procure new battery electric locomotives. The MBTA and the Maryland Transit Administration, the MTA, have announced a joint request for proposals to procure at least 25 new locomotives, more than half of which that would operate on electric power from existing overhead wires on the MBTA's Providence line and Marks Penn line. The procurement seeks 10 battery electric trains that would run on the Providence line, which already has an overhead power line for Amtrak's electric Northeast Corridor train. So that would be very easy to kind of set up if they were to go this route. The bid documents also propose options for the T to build 50 additional train engines, either powered by batteries or by diesel engines into its order for the future. The same procurement, Maryland would obtain 5 battery electric train engines on the same contract, and that will run on the Penn line, which is part of the electrified Northeast Corridor for Amtrak as well. And those engines, for people who are familiar with that, on the MARC line, that would replace existing HHP 8 electric locomotives that are about 26 years old, so 2000. The MBTA, they currently run on diesel-powered trains on the Providence line because it does not own any locomotives capable of tapping into its overhead power lines. There is talk about the Fairmont line, of course, with battery electric trains. So this is just another step with that as well. So that's going to be huge. There's also renderings as to like what these trains could look like, and they look very nice. They look very nice as well. And you're going to see a lot of the battery electric units on the Fairmont line, I apologize. That's coming up, I believe, 2028. I believe that's when that's supposed to get underway there on the Fairmont line. All right. It is 10:58 a.m. I want to thank everyone for listening to today's program. I want to thank Alan Frawley for calling in earlier today as well. Next week, we will have Eric Dunn joining us in the second hour. He'll be joining us the 10 o'clock hour to talk all things sports. I'm sure we'll get some spring training baseball as well. We'll ask him about what effect, if any, you'll see on the Red Sox when it comes to the World Baseball Classic. It's not going to really affect things for the regular season, but will affect things for the spring training for 2 weeks at least. We'll ask him about that. We'll ask him about the Celtics and the Bruins as well, and much more stuff as well. And who knows? We might get into a little bit of eventually we might get into a little bit of World Cup. Because that's going to be a big thing over the next couple of months as well, as Massachusetts prepares to host some games as well for the FIFA World Cup. So we'll see if he has any thoughts on that as well. I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit. So, all right, 10:59 a.m. I want to thank everyone for joining me today on this program. I'll be back on the air again on Sunday morning for another edition of Middleborough Review. Until then, have a great weekend, everybody, and stay safe.
We are AM 1530, WBBF, Taunton, and W259DD, Middleborough Center, 99.7 FM, your hometown radio station.
PeopleTogether.org
to learn how to be a helper in your community.
That's over.
Public service announcement brought to you by Maddie
That's that off.
the Humane Society of the United States and
That's
the Ad Council.
11 o'clock.
This is the Talking Information Center, a window to independence through local volunteers reading over 300 newspapers, magazines, and books specific to your community.
Now available.
All right.
Speaker by saying, play radio station, Talking Information Center.
For comments and more information, call 781-834-44.
Okay. Let's see. Where is end stream? There it is. All right. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a great rest of your week. And I will be back next week.